One of the most popular trends that we see in society today is towards meditation. And the focus of the meditation that most of society is sharing tends to be exercises, tends to be breathing. And when we think about yogasana, our favorite yogasana is what? Shavasana, correct? This is the focus, right? But Puja Gurudev, Puja Swami Chinmaya has shared that our nature is meditation. That meditation is not a verb, it is a noun. This is who we are, this is who we were, this is who we will be, is meditation. And the focus that Puja Gurudev through Lord Krishna, or Lord Krishna through Puja Gurudev has taught us, the focus is not on exercises and breathing, it's on being. Not becoming, it's on being. Swami Ishwarananda was sharing with us that when it comes to meditation, they should make a shirt that says, meditation, just don't do it. That's what meditation is. It is not exercising, it is not breathing. If our nature is fullness, how come we don't feel full? We chant, Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. All there is fullness. But why don't we feel this fullness then? And there is one and only one reason why we don't feel this fullness. We have forgotten what our nature is. It is that simple. Metaphysically, this can be described as Maya. Maya means that which makes the impossible possible. Ma means no, Yaha means is, that which is not. That's what Maya does to us. Also described as Ajnana, which means ignorance. Jnana is that which helps us to know something, so Ajnana becomes a catalyst to me forgetting that. This is what we believe we are suffering from. We feel this incompleteness in many facets of life. For some, it's their health. How come I can't feel totally healthy? For some, it's wealth. I have so much, but I don't feel like I have so much. For some, it's family. That I have the perfect family, but I don't feel perfect. In many facets, we all experience this. It is a universal experience. We all know that this world, that which is finite, cannot provide infinitude. And so we are all gathered here not as seekers. We are gathered here as searchers. A seeker is still looking, where is this source of joy? A searcher knows where the source of joy is, but hasn't tuned into that source of joy. It is Father's Day weekend. We could be doing anything right now. But we are all searchers because we know that being in this satsang, as Vilasani ji had pointed out, will be that source of joy. So we are gathered here as searchers. We have faith, but we don't have conviction. We know we're the source of joy, but we don't believe that fully. And Puja Swami Tejmayananda had once shared, he said it's like eating a candy or a chocolate, but without taking the wrapper off. You eat it, and there's some sweetness that trickles in, but there's still that plastic or that film that's stuck in my teeth or eventually gets stuck in my throat. We have faith, but the conviction is not there. And metaphysically, this can be described as lacking purity of mind. Because when the mind is fully pure, I don't even have faith, I have knowledge then. I don't have faith that I'm holding mantra pushpam in my hand. I know I'm holding mantra pushpam in my hand. There's clarity there. If our minds are pure, then our faith will turn into knowledge. And this is why we are studying that being who is most pure, and that is Mother Saraswati. Even the way that she dresses, the items in her hands is the embodiment of purity. And we will study more of the details of Mother Saraswati, but I want us to focus on the context right now. So we'll revisit who Mother Saraswati is. How many of you, by a show of hands, have ever studied an Upanishad before? Okay? By a show of hands, and be honest, how many of you have never heard the word Upanishad before? So some liars in there. Our Vedas are the map on how you and I are to live life. That is the way to understand this poetically. Veda literally means knowledge. And this book of knowledge is guiding us in two directions. And we have a choice to make, one direction or the other. The first direction is teaching us how to be successful in the world. That is called the Karma Kanda. How to thrive when it comes to my strength, whether it's material strength or physical strength. This is also the message of dharma. Dharma means that which integrates. If I follow this direction, I will be integrated and I will succeed in this world. And another direction that the Vedas are teaching is how to succeed beyond the world. That is called the Jnana Kanda. That is how to be infinite. How to tune into Brahman. This is the simple message of the Vedas. This Jnana Kanda is also called Vedanta. Vedanta means the antaha, the end of the Vedas. In the Vedas, the beginning portion is called the Karma Kanda, the end portion is called the Jnana Kanda. Vedanta is the end of knowledge. When one studies Vedanta, one does not need to study anything else. If one studies the Karma Kanda, I will still feel incomplete. I will want to study more. I want to study more. I want to study more. People like Ramana Maharishi and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, these people were full out illiterates. They could not even write their own name. But they knew what Vedanta was, like an amla, like a fruit in their hand. And they didn't need to study anything else. Ramana Maharishi was once reading the Upanishads, and one of his devotees said, Bhagwan, they used to call him Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi, why are you reading the Upanishads? And he says, oh, I wanted to see what they wrote about me. How much clarity there is about what the nature of joy is. Lord Krishna says that Vedanta is Paravidya. Paravidya means the highest knowledge. And naturally the highest knowledge will take me to the highest. And he says anything that's not about me is called Aparavidya. It doesn't mean low knowledge, it just means it's not the highest knowledge. And mathematically, if I'm not infinite, I'm not infinite. I can be a huge number, but that's not infinity. Spatially, the same goes. That's Paravidya. And one more name for Jnanakanda Vedantaha is Upanishad. Upanishad means upa, near. Ni, below. Shad, sit. Sit near and below. Who should I sit near and below? Someone who knows. Someone who knows how to read the map. Someone who's used the map. If someone asked me right now, drive me to Richmond, that person would be a foolish person. I don't know how to get to Richmond. But if you said, how do you get to Niagara Falls? Yes, I can show you how to get to Niagara Falls. It's experiential. I read a nice quote on Facebook. I'm not saying you should use it in the next 48 hours. I'll do the accessing for you, okay? When the word is man, take it as humans, or Devis. How about Devis? When Devis follow other Devis, it leads to hopeless end. When Devis follow the Devi, it leads to the end of hopelessness. Right? We're all confused. Why are we following each other? We need to sit near and below that person who is not confused. And this is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma, of how our Guru Parampara, how the students studied. Now if we go to our universities, the professors down and the students are up, right? Pay attention. I pay your salary. You pay attention to me. Totally different. We are going to be studying Mahanarayana Upanishad. This Medha Suktam is within Mahanarayana Upanishad. Mahanarayana Upanishad is a Maha because it's huge, but Maha because it teaches us in many ways how to remember the divine and live the divine in our day-to-day affairs. And that's what we need. Prince Arjuna is telling Lord Krishna, I don't want to fight. I'm ready for sannyasa. Let me go. And Lord Krishna during this time is just not even listening to him. He's just hearing him because he knows he's not ready. For you and I, when those challenges become too intense, isn't that what we think? I'm just going to move back to India. Or, why did I have so many kids? Whatever it may be. And most people think it in their minds. I hear sometimes people say it out loud, that I shouldn't have had children. Right? And see how that perspective, how much of a mother that person would be. But if they change the perspective, that it was my responsibility to look after these children, how everything changes. Content-wise, context is the same. So we have to bring religion to our day-to-day affairs. And this is the secret to working with young adults and youth as well. Because as parents, that is one of our greatest challenges, is working with our young adults and youth. Where are their minds? In the media, isn't it? So we have to bring religion to the media. Vilasniji referenced a movie, right? If you say, life is a game, enjoy it. No young adult or youth is going to be attracted to that. Have you seen the movie Life is Beautiful? Yes. Let's watch that movie. Same message. So we have to bring religion to us. When we remember the divine, we can start to practice being divine. What happens as soon as the Jnana Yajna is over? What happens the next day? Next minute, let alone next day. What happens the next minute, right? As soon as we're in the car going back to the hotel, the forgetting process will kick in. We forget. Then if I forget, I can't practice then. Remember Karna? In the moment that he needed that Shastra Vidya the most, he couldn't remember it. And it caused him to fail. Only when we remember can we practice. When Lord Rama meets Sant Valmiki ji in Tulsidas ji's Ramayana, he says to Tulsidas ji, where can I live while I'm living here in the forest? And Sant Valmiki says, where are you not living, Bhagavan? But he says, tell me anyways where I should live. And he lists out 14 different homes in where he should live. And what are those 14 homes? 5 organs of action, 5 organs of perception, mind, intellect, ego, and memory. 14 homes for where Lord Rama should live. And if Lord Rama is living in the way I hold, in the way I walk, in the way I hear, in the way I see, in the way I remember, in the way that I decide and doubt, if Lord Rama is present in all of these places, then there will only be Rama, which means joy. And that's why we're here. Nobody came here to become more sad. Some of you may become more sad being here, but you didn't come here for that reason. We have to make ourselves the home for the Lord. Within Mahanarayana Upanishad, there is a portion entitled Medha Suktam. Suktam means sushtup uktam. Sushtup means well. Uktam means spoken. That which is well spoken, that which is well presented. And who is this about? Medha. Not Medha, your friend, or the Medha that's sitting in this room. We're talking about the Medha. Medha at a lower level means memory. And as we get older, we are losing our memory. So even at a very secular level, by studying this, our memory will increase. This is why before exams, people should be studying Medha Suktam. Even if one doesn't know what it means, but it's increasing one's memory. Then I can write that exam better. At a higher level, Medha Suktam means wisdom. And wisdom is living knowledge. And this also is what we need to live what we're learning. Many of us have been studying Vedanta for 1 year, 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. But are we living this knowledge? This is a prayer to Saraswati Devi to help us remember, to help us live the divine life. And it's a prayer to help us change. This is what we're here for, is to change. To let go of anger, to let go of impatience, to let go of purposelessness, to change all of that. In our expression of the divine, we have the Trimurti, which is Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Lord Shiva, the destroyer. Now think practically. Wherever there's creation, what has to be matched with creation? Knowledge. Lord Brahma's wife is Mother Saraswati. Wherever there's preservation, what has to be there? Wealth. Mother Lakshmi. Wherever there's destruction, there's a dissolving taking place. Who has to be there? What has to be there? Power. Without knowledge, there cannot be creation. And I had said that we want to change. Real change cannot take place without knowledge. How many of you know how to chant Medha Suktam? Chant according to traditional Vedic chanting? Everyone's hands are like this. When we look at our mantras, and in your book, do you have the markings on the shlokas? You do? Okay. Every time you see a line above a letter, it's called an uddata. And that is we are to intonate higher. Whenever you see a horizontal line below the letter, it's called a anuddata. I'm supposed to lower my pitch. And if there's no marking above or below, it's called swadita, which means it is level. Nothing needs to change. Why our suktams are written like this is because you have to focus more than, one has to be more disciplined. And when we are more focused and more disciplined, we can internalize this more. So each discourse we are going to chant Medha Suktam, and then I will explain what all of the main messages of Medha Suktam are. Okay? If you can chant along, good. If you can't, listen and keep practicing. There are endless versions on YouTube, or you can record this too, and it's being recorded for you. Together. Om Medha Devi Jushamana Naga Vishwachi Bhadra Sumanasya Mana Tvaya Jushta Nudamana Duruktaan Brahadvadema Vidate Suvira Aha Tvaya Jushta Rishir Bhavati Devi Tvaya Brahma Gata Shri Rutatvaya Tvaya Jushtas Chitram Vindate Vasusano Jushaswadravino Namedhe Medham ma Indro dadatu, Medham Devi Saraswati, Medham me Ashwina Vubhava Dattam Pushkarasraja, Apsara Suchaya Medha Gandharveshu Chayanmanaha, Devi Medha Saraswati Sama Medha Surabir Jushata Goswaha Ama Medha Surabir Vishwarupa Hiranyavarana Jagati Jagamya Urjaswati Payasa Pinvamana Sama Medha Supratika Jushantam Mai Medha Mai Prajam Mai Agnistejo Dadatu Mai Medha Mai Prajam Mai Indra Indriyam Dadatu Mai Medha Mai Prajam Mai Suryo Bhrajo Dadatu Om Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi Tanno Hamsah Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And it's good cardiovascular workout too, isn't it? We begin with Om. And Om is the representation of the infinite. Our mind is finite, and that which is finite cannot think of that which is infinite. I'll make this even more clear. I want all of you to think about a cast curtain light. A cast curtain light. What are you thinking of? Nothing. I just made that up right now. See? If there's no basic name and there's no form, we can't think of it. Now imagine thinking of that which has no name, no form, and no expression whatsoever. So we need an expression. Om is that expression. Om is of 3 letters in Sanskrit: A, U, Ma. A is the first letter of the alphabet. Ma is the last letter of the alphabet. A comes from here. Ma comes from here. In other words, every expression that can come through my vocal tract is contained within Om. And when we chant Om, A, U, and Ma should be for the equal length. So 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Usually ours is just but it has to be lengthened like that. A represents the waking state. U represents dream state. Ma represents sleep state. And most importantly, the silence between the waking, dream, and sleep state. That is that reality, the truth, Brahman. This silence is always pervading the waking, dream, and sleep states. And we'll make this more clear too. On the count of 3, I want all of you to yell as loud as you can. Okay? You're given permission to do that right now. You're being encouraged to do that. So on the count of 3, yell. What you want to yell is up to you, okay? As long as it's sattvic. Yell as loud as you can. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Terrible. You bring 70 women together, 79 women together, and a few others, and you can't yell? Try again, okay? Someone just broke something at home. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Better. And now, silence. The silence was there before we yelled. The silence was there while we yelled. The silence is there after we yelled too. The truth, reality, our nature is as well, but we need to tune into that. So we begin with Om. This itself we can do 4 discourses on Om. There's a whole Upanishad just on Om. And we continue. We say, Medha Devi. Devi means that person who illuminates. Illuminates what? Medha. Intelligence. So we're praying to that illuminator of intelligence. And why are we praying to her? Because we all want to grow. And the word naha here means us. When we chant Om Sahana Bhavatu, who's praying there? Not just the student, but the teacher is praying too. All students and all teachers are praying. Imagine the whole world. Every being in the world began to pray. How much transformation would take place in the world? This is what Mahesh Yogi Ji tried. In Iowa City, there's an actual city called Vedic City. They have the university over there. And they try to have these group transcendental meditation sessions. And that's the idea, is when you bring communities together in the direction of sattva, it starts radiating outwards. Imagine how much we would change if we prayed more, if everyone prayed more. This is a communal prayer that's being chanted. And for all of the Devis, if we cannot begin with our communities, we can certainly begin with our micro-community called our families. What we do at home. And I know all of you are already doing this more than the rest of the people in your family. When we announced this Devi retreat, none of the Devas said, why, how come we don't have a Deva retreat? They're saying, good, go, enjoy yourself. Right? If they're really seeking that, they would say, no, we want a retreat too. Our chicks say it, the Devis say it, not the Devas though. They practice Mona when it comes to such aspirations. Despite how busy you are, that expression of prayer is taking place. And what's being highlighted here is to continue giving that importance. Pray in whatever way you want. Whether it's making a flower garland, whether it means lighting a diya, whether it means just chanting Om 11 times, whether it's just sitting there. But stick to prayer. For you, for your families. When it comes to not just children, but human beings. Human beings will not do what is said, they will do what is seen. If they see it, they'll do it. But if one just says it, they may or may not do it. Stick to that prayer, because it changes. A Deva didn't understand this one day. So he wakes up his young son early in the morning. And he says, son, we're going to the forest today. So the son in his drowsy state walks with his father, and they walk all day to the middle of the forest. And the father tells the son, okay, go play over there, and I'm going to do some work here. The son goes and plays, and the father starts digging a hole. After a long day of digging, he calls his son, they go back. Next morning, same thing. Next morning, same thing. On the fourth day, as they're leaving and going back, the son asks the father, Father, how come you keep waking me up, and how come you keep coming here to dig this hole in the middle of the forest? And the father asks the son to sit down and says, son, have you noticed your grandfather is changing? What do you mean? Well, he's becoming a little bit older. He's becoming a little bit less useful. So I'm just preparing when he becomes totally useless. So the son hears it out. They go back home. Next morning, same scene. As the father's digging, he sees his son take out a shovel and he starts digging a hole too. The father runs over to the son. Son, what are you doing? He says, Father, sit down. Have you noticed you're getting a little bit older? You're becoming a little bit less useful? I'm preparing for you. That father brought his son with him, and they filled in that hole that they were digging. See, that father could have said anything about his father, but the son was watching what he was doing. So for us too, and I'm not just saying that with children, anybody, doctors with patients. Right? If the doctor's not doing it, why will the patient do it? When we take up families, especially with children who are always watching us, we often think that that's a curse. They're always watching me. Why are they always watching me? Why can't I just be? Why can't I just have my alone time? And if I treat it with that sentiment, it is a curse. But if I just flip it and treat this as, hey, this is a blessing because I have to be vigilant with every thought, every word, and every deed that I engage in. Because someone is always watching me. Doesn't that make one more aware, more mindful then? And how everything changes, stays the same, but with a changed perspective, then that whole experience changes too. When people watch us, it's not a curse. It's a blessing because it teaches us. And naturally, they learn in the same way. When Swamiji was talking about the well meeting, I was thinking about villagers that we often see who are carrying 3 heavy pots of water on their head, and they're walking with their arms loose, or they're carrying something else in their arms, or a child. And how that water is totally still. That they're so mindful of that responsibility that they never fail. And those are heavy pots. If we even had to carry it like this, it would be heavy. But they're mindful, they're aware of that responsibility, and they excel in it then. It is not a curse, it is a blessing. I'd shared that we should all pray in our own ways. Here is a way to pray. We should begin conversing with our Creator. We often think Bhagavan created the world and then is now waiting in the clouds somewhere. Bhagavan is creation. Bhagavan is you. And we have to begin to connect inside with that Creator. Talk to Him. In this case, talk to her. A conversation with God. Tell God about your problems. Tell God about your achievements. Tell God about who you are, who you aren't are. The Sankalpa Vilasini ji said, tell God why you're here. Tell God what you expect. We start connecting with the Creator. Now, if I start realizing that the Creator resides within me, won't my life change then? Won't I be more positive? Won't I exercise more? Will I listen to less gossip and eat less junk food? If I know that God is within me? And what one of my Upacharyas, Samvidji, had shared. He said, one of the highest forms of prayer, pray for others. Pray for others to succeed. Pray for others to be healthy. Pray for others to win. Pray for others to get the job over you. It is a very purging experience. All that impurity gets purged out. I don't just connect with the Creator, I start connecting with creation then. Prayer. Have a conversation with God. When we do, our children, our husbands, they will all begin to converse with God too then. With Devi. So, O Mother of Intelligence, God, come to me. Please visit us. Please revel in our hearts. And who are you? Vishwa Chi. Vishwa means this universe. Chi means you penetrate every aspect of this universe, even the least devoted person. That Ati Manda student, that student who is an atheist, you still pervade even the atheist. Because if the atheist is to say, I don't believe, the fact that he or she says they don't believe, it's because of you. So you pervade this whole universe. O Medha Devi Jushamana, revel, Naha, with us. God, please come to us. Vishwachi, you who are all penetrating, and Bhadra. Bhadra means, if you reside here in my heart, there will only be goodness. And when there's goodness out inside, goodness will be projected outside. Swami Chinmaya has a famous quote, smile at the world and the world smiles back. Frown at the world and the world will frown back. This is why when we do our prayer, Bhadram karnebi shrunuyama devaha, let me hear goodness so that I can speak goodness. Bhadram and Sumanasya mana. Be generous. You are the divine. you are infinite. Be generous. Be sumanasa. Meaning, have a good mind towards me. One of Lord Shiva's names is Ashutosh. Ashutosh means the one who is easily pleased. And we have a Gita chanting trophy over there that says, anyone who offers me pushpam, patram, toyam. Pushpam, dried flower. Patram, old leaf. Toyam, stagnant water. But offered with devotion. I am easily pleased then. Bhagavan, be generous with me. We have to do our part in conversing with Bhagavan, and then Bhagavan will definitely do her part. Bhagavati will do her part to connect to us. This word, sumanasa, whenever I see this prefix su, we had the World Workers' Conference in December in Chinmaya Vibhuti, and Puja Swami Tejamananda had asked my batchmate and I to be the MCs for the program. So as I'm introducing one of the speakers, I said she's she's Kumari. And I didn't know her well. I didn't know most of the people I was introducing. And then afterwards, we have a break. So Guruji was saying, I apologize, I called her Srimati, and Guruji said she's not Srimati because she's not married. So I said, okay, I didn't know that. And when I came back to speak, then I said, like newspapers put in, last week we made this error. So I made an error, she's not married, she's not Srimati. But I didn't know what the prefix, what I should address her to her. So I looked at Guruji and he said, Kumari. And I said, good, because I was about to say Kumati. Because I was thinking Hanuman Chalisa. Kumati means bad-minded. Bad-minded. So we are asking Bhagavati to be good-minded towards us, to be generous. I want to study a few more words. Here it says, Tvaya jushta nudamana duruktaan. Before your presence, we were also reveling. But we were reveling in duruktan, which means gossip. Du means negative. Uktan again, you see that word speaking. We were reveling in gossip. Before you came. And I would say the same, before Swamiji came, what were you all doing? Correct? Duruktan. If we take the time to think about what we talk about, we perhaps would be more silent. We would be more silent. Think about how you feel when speaking negatively about someone else. Whether it be gossips, rumors, complaints. Think about how you feel when you're saying those words. Who is the first one that hears it when we speak it? We do, isn't it? We don't feel positive. Now think some more. How would that person feel if they heard what we were saying or sharing with other people? So not only do we feel bad, now imagine that person, how bad they would feel, how negative they would feel, or hurt they would feel. Now think about it one more level deeper. How would you feel if those same words were said about you? Right? Whatever we project is an indication of what's inside, and whatever we project will come back. So we're telling Mother Saraswati, before you were there, we were reveling in gossip, but we don't want to anymore. Which is why we're asking you to revel in us. So we don't have to then. I heard a beautiful quote that ordinary people, base people talk about people, ordinary people talk about events, great people talk about ideas. So why be a base person and talk about another person? Why not be a great person and talk about ideas? At Northwestern, they had done a study that those people who talk about the superficial or the light aspects of life, weather, politics, sports, etc., versus those people who talk about challenges, solutions, ideas, family, the deeper aspects of life, those people are happier. See, Northwestern said it. Now, Northwestern said it. I believe it. This is shared 5,000, 10,000 years ago. So what are we using these lips for? What are we using these ears for? Tomorrow we will continue with our study, but I'll leave one final thought with everyone. There is a Sanskrit Subhashitam. Subhashitam means words of wisdom. In Sanskrit, I shouldn't say it's a Sanskrit Subhashitam. A child that doesn't make their family's name more glorious, or more well-known, or more revered, more positive. That child, and it's shared very harshly, reflect on it, all that child has done has stolen the youthhood of their mother. If a child does not raise the name of their family by sattvic means, I'm not saying, okay, they blew this up or hurt that person, but they raise the name of their family. If they haven't, all that they've done is stolen the youthhood of their mother. And the best example of this is Sri Lakshmana. When Sri Lakshmana went to Mother Sumitra, and she said, I know you're not here to ask my permission to go. I know you're going. I'm telling you to go. If you don't go with Rama, then you are leaving Ayodhya. Because wherever Rama goes, that's where Ayodhya is. He says that if you don't serve Mother Sita, then you're not serving your mother. Imagine a mother saying, serve your sister-in-law more than me. But she says, if you serve her, you're serving your mother. A child who does not have love for Lord Rama, then that is not the fulfillment of motherhood. But if one has a child who is devoted to Lord Rama, then that is the fulfillment of motherhood. And why I'm sharing this is that we often take it as parents with kids, but we still have our parents, correct? Whether they're alive or not. What are we devoted to? What are we using our words and our ears for? And we'll talk about this tomorrow, about how this is real love. All right?